Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to be reviewing the GTENG Flying Spider, little mini quadcopter with an FPV system kind of built into the controller. Kind of a sleek looking controller and kind of a different looking quadcopter. I kind of like the look of it. It looks kind of original. So this will be fun to review. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the box. We're going to do unboxing, a little inspection, and then a little setup if required. Do some testing on the bench to see if how the FPV looks before we go out, and then do a flight test at the park. So just flipping over the box, it's just kind of a black box with this on the other side, and this box is kind of cool. It just opens up and you can see everything inside here. We have the controller. It's kind of under this plastic here, and this looks like the charger and the USB drive, a little card here, and then the quadcopters right here, and the controllers here with the screen we can see. So kind of interesting, a little bit different. And then on the top portion it's just got the quadcopter with some of its functions. It's listing as FPV, headless mode, 1 key return, 2.4 gigahertz, rolls, searchlight, throttle limit button, and a 580 mAh LiPo battery. So apparently this thing does pretty much all the functions that any little toy kind of mini quadcopter like this can do. So let's go ahead and open this, unbox it, and see what we get. Okay, so that whole package just kind of slides out there, and the whole top is clear. We'll take off the top cover, and kind of neat. Looks like they packaged it pretty well. I kind of like how they have this packaging with everything kind of separate on top, and you can kind of see it through that top cover. Kind of a neat way of packaging things. And first of all, let's take out everything around the quad, and then we'll go and get to the main quad here. So first thing in the middle, this is going to be your USB charger. Plug this into a computer or any cell phone type of charger. And then here's the battery here. Kind of a more square type of battery here than I've seen before, and actually on the battery itself it's saying it's only a 500 mAh, so I guess maybe the box was wrong. It looks like it's just a 500 mAh, but 3.7 volt, and the charger just plugs in here, and then you plug this into your wall charger or computer to charge that up. And let's see what else we get. So we get our little USB little dongle here. This is the thing that you would basically plug into your computer and put the memory card in this after you record your videos, so you can do your recordings. And it looks like they're giving us a 4 gigabyte card here, a little micro SD card, which should slide into the craft. And looks like we have another charger. So we've got 2 chargers, possibly one for the battery, probably maybe for the controller. So we'll take that out in just a second. Yeah, so here's another battery here. And this one is another 500 mAh battery. It's a little bit different form factor, but it is the same milliamp and also a 3.7 volt. And let's take out the controller next. Underneath the controller is a little bag of goodies, which gives us 4 extra propellers and a screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver. And the last couple of things in the box are the controller, the manual, and then of course the quadcopter. So let's take a closer look at all this stuff. There's our manual. Here's the controller. I'm going to peel off this little protective wrapping here real quick. And so we have a pretty shiny screen here, but really neat design. This is really interesting. I'm really kind of digging this type of sleek design here. Very, very unique. Really excites me when crafts kind of start to go into more of an original design with their stuff instead of copying everything. So kudos for these guys for giving it a really unique design. That's much appreciated. It's got a really smooth finish here. Looks like you are going to need to use your screwdriver to take out this back screw for the batteries. And if it snaps shut, we probably won't need to put that back in. So yeah, so the controller actually uses more of the elongated battery. So that's going to go inside there, and it just plugs in. This little micro Walkera Loci connector will just plug in there, and it looks like it's going to power the whole controller plus the FPV monitor. So cool stuff. And let's just see how this little battery door clips back in. Okay, so it clips in nice and tight, so really no need to put that screw on there if you don't want to. We'll go over all the controls in just a second. I just want to take a close-up look at the GTENG Spider real quick. So here it is. It's a really neat design, really digging this design. I love it when they make kind of new ideas and different designs on these quadcopters. But just a close-up inspection here, we're seeing that it's got kind of an all black and kind of a candy apple orangish stripe through it. Looks like we have these bluish, nice soft silicone rubber feet on the bottom here. And this is FPV. Looks like a 5.8 gigahertz antenna here. It's got the short little stub there, so that would mean it should be 5.8 gigahertz. Kind of a neat cooling design here to keep the video transmitter and the camera board here underneath nice and cool. Some quads have problems where they overheat, so it's a really good idea. I'm glad they did that. And on the back here, it looks like this is our little battery door. Cool, so very unique design here. So you've got the Walkera, micro Walkera Loci connector there, and that battery door is going to fit the large battery inside, this large square battery. It's kind of neat right angle arms. They kind of come out at angles here. Looks, you know, there's a little bit of flex to them, but it's so light that it looks like they'll be fine. I'm just going to take off one propeller and see if these prop guards can come off rather easily. Just want to see how these things are coming off. I know some prop guards are a little weird when you take out the screw, but okay, so this one, actually the screw does not do anything. They're just three little tabs that push in, and this screw is just to hold the bottom part of the arm together, sandwich it in between. So I guess I can screw that back in, and that won't do anything with the prop guards. So I really like that. I like how you can just pop off the prop guards nice and easy. You don't have to take off any screws, and then you can put your propellers back on. Of course, leave the prop guards on if you are just beginning to save your propellers, but as you get better, go ahead and just take off your prop guards. You'll get a little more flight time, and you won't have as much drag in the wind. So I'll be taking off mine just because I'm a little bit of a better flyer nowadays, and I don't need to worry about crashing quite as much. The propellers do pop off pretty easy, but they are nice and snug, so I don't foresee them popping off in flight like some other mini quadcopters I've reviewed actually have problems with popping off. But these are nice and snug. As I can push them on, and they do get even tighter as you push them down on. You can see the camera right there in the front. It's got a slight tilt down, not really a 45 degrees, maybe like a 20 degree pointing down tilt, so you're still going to get pretty straight ahead shot, just a little bit slanted down. It will be really nice if these lit up, this feet lit up, but it looks like actually, which is okay, it looks like these are the LEDs. So all four corners have, looks like different color LEDs. We've got two in the back and two in the front on the bottoms of the arms. And all these are just feet here on the bottom. Doesn't look like there's any lights in there. Anyway, that's about it for the quad. Let's go ahead and take a look at the instruction manual and the controller. So it looks like everything is pretty self-explanatory here. We have power on the screen off and on. We have power on the controller off and on, so you can turn those off and on separate. We have our video recording mode. We have our picture snapshot. We have screen brightness, it looks like, so that's a welcome feature. Most screens in these kinds of little mini quads, you cannot adjust the screen brightness, so this is a very welcome feature here. The only thing that I have a little con about is how glossy this screen is. You can see it's a high gloss screen, so that's probably going to pick up some glare in the sunlight. So who knows, it may be easy to see because you can make the brightness higher. Okay, and it's got these triggers on the top. Unfortunately, the left side is just kind of blocked out. You can't push them in, but you can push in the top and bottom of the right side triggers here. The bottom one here is a headless mode. So that would be headless mode, where you can be in any orientation, and back should be back towards you, forward should always be forward, and left should always be left, and right should always be right on the right thumbstick. So that's what headless mode is, on and off. And then the top button here is the one key return, where you're flying out from you, you for some reason lose your orientation or whatever it may be, you hit that and it should fly back in its general position it launched from. Okay, and as far as the trim buttons, this is just going to be the trims for said functions here. It doesn't have a label on the throttle trim, so I don't think this actually is going to do anything. The rate function is the left thumbstick, so you push that in and you can change the rates from low to high speeds for faster flying, for the pitch and the roll. And then the right thumbstick, you click that in and it's saying it's the flip key, so you push that in and probably go forward, left, right, or back, and you'll do a flip in that direction. Okay, and really the only other thing it's saying is the calibration for like the gyro accelerometer, and all that's saying is to pull the sticks to the bottom right and left like this. And that's you're gonna want to put it on like a level surface, and go ahead and do that probably first before you do your first launch, and just make sure it finds its level so it has a better hovering in flight. So let's go ahead and put the battery in and power this all up and just see how it looks on the bench before we go out in the field and do our test flight. Okay, so I got the batteries in the controller and also in the craft here, and I have not charged them yet, but I definitely would recommend charging them before you go and fly, of course. But this is just to do a quick little power on and see how it works. So let's just plug in the power here. We can see the lights are lighting up on the bottom, flashing. Going to close up the battery door, put it on a level surface. I'm just going to turn it around here. So the bottom is white and the front, actually the back is white, front is blue. And let's go ahead and power on the controller. So power there, and then power the screen. Let's see, just pressing it once. And we can see we immediately have FPV, so that's great. So if I do put it on the surface like this, you can see how the camera is slightly pointing down. And as I pick it up, that's kind of level there. So it's maybe about a 20-degree tilt down like that. I'm going to put that over there so we can see something in the camera. And let's just really quickly just kind of look at what the latency is like. So I'm just going to move it real quick. So we're getting about maybe 100 to 200 milliseconds of latency. Not bad. I'm seeing a frame rate drop just slightly from time to time. Brightness is all the way up there, and then turning the brightness down to save us some power. Like if you're night flying or in the house, I'd turn that down lower so you can save some power in your controller. But that's definitely a good feature, but it looks really nice. As you can see, it's a very neat design. The visibility at angles is pretty good. You see how it's angling here, and we still have good visibility at these different angles. So a really nice and quality screen it looks like they used here in this one. It's a little harder to see when you have it down like this, but you're probably going to be looking at it like that. One more thing I forgot to mention is the card. To put in the micro SD card, you're just going to slide it in right here. So let me go ahead and power this down before I put in the micro SD card. And you can see we have a snow screen on disconnect. So if you were going out of range, at least you know that the screen will turn snowy and not a blue screen. And it looks like if you power off the whole controller, the actual screen will go off too. But if you power on the controller, it won't power on the screen, so you could fly without the screen if you wanted to until you power that on. So you have the option to fly on and off with the screen there. So that's definitely a good option. So again, just putting in the card, it's going to be the wording is going to be facing down, and you just slide that in and it should clip right in. And you hear click and it should stay in just like that. Just wanted to go through a quick little calibration while we have this on a flat surface here. So controller on, screen on, both sticks to the bottom left and right. You can see the flashing lights, and that means it's calibrating for level. So it looks like it's not going to fly right away. You have to probably go up, down, and it's ready to go. Doesn't do any beeping, so keep in mind that it is silent. You just have to go up and down, and it's ready to go. For this guy, don't forget to check the links down in the description. I will have the link on where you can pick this guy up if you're interested. Cool guys, so let's take this out to the park. Let's charge up these batteries. As you can see, the battery's about half charged, probably in both LiPos. So we need to charge these up, go to the park and do some test flight, and then come on back to the bench and do a little quick pros and cons on this cool looking little GTENG Spider. So let's go fly. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a flight test now with the GTENG Spider. About maybe 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. A little bit overcast right now, but we have some winds coming from this direction. So let's see how this thing does. Alright, so let's go ahead and try a lift test real quick while it has full battery power. So hover to full throttle. Pretty slow, but it is an FPV camera quad. So I'm going to go ahead and do a range test real quick for a round of batteries. Just go out forward. We can see the FPV is still pretty clear. And let's go ahead and just see how far we can get while we roll and see just how much range we got. Still going pretty good. Looks like that was more than 100 feet. So I couldn't even really see it anymore. So definitely going to be controllable within range. Let me just double check how the FPV was at that range. Yeah, FPV is still getting a little bit fuzzy. Yeah, so at control range the FPV starts to get fuzzy, so definitely acceptable as long as the FPV is working within that control range, which seemed to be about 100 feet. Let's see what other functions we have here. So the right bottom trigger, looks like that's supposed to be headless, but it's really pretty off right now. That's not working at all. And then the return to home, see how it's going in that direction. So it thinks the home point is actually that way, so it's already definitely going to be skewed in its headless and return to home. See if this thing does flips, clicking in the right thumbstick. Yeah, so it does flips. Just click it in and then push any direction and it will do the flips. And then the left thumbstick should be a rate mode, or different rates. So this is the first rate, really slow. Second rate, a little faster. Third rate, even faster. Yeah, so it's got 3 rates. They all gradually get faster. Let's see about the yaw. And they also get faster in the yaw, so that's good. So all 3 rates get faster in the yaw and the pitch. Very good. So anyway, let's get a close-up shot of this guy. I know it's getting kind of late and it's hard to see with this cloud cover, but let's just get a close-up if we can. Really neat looking quad here. I really like the looks of it. Definitely original and different. So while we still have some battery, let's just go ahead and fly around as fast as we can. I think I might see some lights blinking already. No, maybe not. See the blue in the front, white in the back are still on solid. So let's just do some fast flying. Definitely quick. Nice. Definitely fun, quick little guy here. And it is able to fight the wind pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture from up top a little bit. See how those look. I'll have those popping up on screen. I'm noticing that camera button doesn't work anymore. I'm pushing it in and there's no click. It's like jammed in, so not sure what's up with that. Let's go up and see what kind of image we can get with the video. Just try to fly it kind of smooth if I can, and so you can see how the video is up high. Looks like when you start recording the video, oh, it looks like that's almost the power there. I'm gonna stop recording the video. Yeah, so it looks like when you record the video, it gets a little bit choppy in the FPV, and that's just probably because there's just too much going on for it to process. But a decent little guy. Let's go ahead and take this thing in the house and do an indoor flight so we can get kind of a no-wind environment taste for it, and go through some more of the functions again in the house. All right, cool. Okay, so for the controller, I know in the park I was having trouble with the video button. It was like getting stuck in, so I went ahead and just took like a sharp knife and kind of just poked around the edges, and it seemed to have freed that up. So it does click in and out now. So let's see if it's working now. Yeah, so great. Okay, so no problem, that's fixed. Just seems to be recording the video fine now. Let's see if we can do pictures while the video is recording. Looks like that stops the video. And then you have to take your pictures, and it's showing us how many pictures we have left up there. And then you have to start your video again. Okay, so whoa. So let's go ahead and all right, nice and smooth. Looks like it was smooth for a second, then it started drifting to the right. So let's see, there's no wind whatsoever in here right now, so this one may be a little bit of a drifter, but not bad at all. Alright, so this would be, here we go, so we're in rate 1 now, so I'm just going to do kind of some pitching and rolling in rate 1. So there's the roll and the pitch. And let's do some yaw. So rate 1, and then clicking in the left stick. Rate 2 gets a little faster, and clicking in again. And rate 3 gets a little bit even. Whoa! Okay, little crash test. Lost the propeller there. Just push that thing back on. It's always good to have some crash testing while we're doing this. Alright, back in the air. Turn back around here. So that was the rate 3 for the yaw. And we saw the rate 1 for the pitch and roll. This is rate 2. A little better angle here. A little quicker flying. And there's the roll, rate 3. Clicking in that left thumbstick. Even more. Whoa. So it is pretty quick, little guy. Nice throttle response. And there's the roll in rate 3. So it's not like an immediate, quick pitch and roll. It's kind of like a little bit of a slower, gradual roll. If you smash the stick, it doesn't go immediately. It's a little slow. Anyway, lift test from hover to full throttle. That's actually pretty good for an FPV quad like this. Not bad at all. And so let's see, let's try to give the headless and return to home a chance again. In the park it was completely skewed, but let's try it here again. So right trigger top here, pressing now. Okay, so nothing's working there. That's going all the way to the back left corner over there. So as you can see, that return to home does not work at all. Headless is probably going to be the same way. The bottom right trigger pulling back, and it's going there as well. So getting out of that right away. So the headless and return to home functions are completely rubbish. I would never use those. Same thing that happened in the park. It's just skewed, so it'd be probably pretty dangerous to use those. Anyway, flips, pushing in the right thumbstick, and then pushing in any direction. Left flip. Really nice, tight little flips. It does wander a bit, but it does maintain its altitude pretty good because it gives a little boost of throttle. I'm not going to touch the throttle, and you can see how it's staying where it kind of started its flip. So that's good to know. And I got the camera recording, so from time to time I'll have it up on the screen. And I'm just going to go upstairs here and see how it is at a little bit of a distance from the controller. Alright, it looks like the FPV is doing pretty good. It's getting a little choppy, like the frame rate, but overall it's okay. Okay, so let's try to do a TX shutoff test. I'm going to press power now. 1, 2, boom. Alright, so 2 seconds after signal loss, and it will just drop out of the sky, just so you know. Looks like it's still recording. It remembers it's recording, and the red light's blinking on the bottom as well, so that's good to know. I did turn off and on the controller, and it still has the red for recording, so that's a good feature. Usually quads will shut off the recording or corrupt the file sometimes, or they might get confused on if it's recording or not. So I'm going to go into kind of rate 2 and just kind of fly quickly around the house and see how it kind of does in here. So rate 3, a little fast for the house. Whoa, rate 2 is already a little too fast. How about just rate 1? Just try to do just some flying around in here until the battery gets used up and see how its failsafe does. Seems like the battery is lasting pretty long on this one. I will have the timings up at the end when it lands, so I'll just try to figure it out when I'm editing the video and get the timings. I'll just have the timings come up on the screen. But anyway, for what it is, it's definitely a cool little guy. I'm pretty impressed with it, aside from that headless and return to home, which don't work worth a darn. So there we go. So there's our low voltage blinking. You see that? So I'll be just hovering here until it does its final drop. There we go. So I'm full throttle up and it's just dropping. Let's see what it does. Stop the video. Okay, so it does a low voltage cutoff, so that's good to know. So you won't destroy the battery. Anyway guys, that was a great test, great park flight, in-house flight. Went through all of its functions, and just gonna do a quick little pros and cons here right now. As far as what I'm seeing, con, don't like how the camera's pointing down. You can probably see in the park video and in this video that if you're flying forward, it's always going ahead and, let me go ahead and shut this off. It looks like the battery is getting really weak because the lights are barely blinking. It looks like you're always going to get video of the ground when you're flying forward. So would have liked to see maybe a straightforward camera. That's unfortunate. But I do like the design of this thing. Let's see, headless and return to home functions don't work worth a darn. They need to fix that. The FPV video was pretty good. And it does look like this one, you can just pop it out of this little holder if you wanted to and kind of angle it downwards. So actually, you probably want to be doing this if you're flying like straight out from you. You want to hang this antenna down because the signal is going to spread this way. It won't be very good if it's directly above you, but it'll be better than if this thing's pointing back, because the signal's not coming out of the end of the antenna, it's coming out of the sides. But anyway, the FPV was pretty good. It got a little bit, the frame rate wasn't as good as I would expect from a 5.8 gigahertz, but overall good. The lighting was okay. These LEDs are kind of recessed in here, so not the greatest lighting. The lift was good. The flight timing seemed on par with an FPV mini like this, or micro. The controller, I really like the look of the controller. The camera start-stop button got stuck immediately after my first flight, so that was a little QC issue. I had to just ream that out to fix that. Otherwise, everything else worked really well. All the rates were perfect, spot on. The yaws and the pitch and roll rates, they got all that down perfect. So just a few things they can improve on, but overall, I like the design. I think it's a great step in the right direction, and overall fun quad to fly for sure. Anyway guys, I do a lot of videos like this, so check out the channel on my reviews, mods, and flight tests. Also RC cars, action cam videos, boats, all kinds of stuff I review and test out. So I think you'll like that if you check out the channel. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.